And welcome back to Janky AF. Well, it's 6 degrees out Fahrenheit, and the future is so bright that I gotta wear shades. That's a song by Timbuk3. I have that on vinyl that I randomly found at a flea market somewhere. Anyways, the purpose of this video is to address all the quitting that's been going on YouTube. And ironically, you know, these, I guess they're not all millennials, but the stupid, dumb joke I was gonna make as we check the mail here is that while these YouTubers certainly are not quiet quitting, they're doing it very loudly. And now this has become like a phenomenon, and I feel like the other funny, ironic thing, no mail today, Mrs. Johnson, or whatever that line was from Donnie Darko. I feel like the irony is that a lot of them were quitting because like they were getting like serious burnout. Now I know a thing or two about burnout. But when you have to, when, you know, like now because of the great algorithm, as we look at my Prius, do you like the body kit I put on my Prius? It's like a wide body kit. See? That's a joke about all the ice and snow that's built up on my Prius. My Jetta won't start because it's 6 degrees out, so I gotta get a battery tender and hook it up to that. If you haven't seen my Jetta, well, the doors are frozen. I'll show it to you later. And here's the back. Look, now I can't get pulled over because I no longer have a license plate. So it's very cold out, and it's the dead of winter. So, so I lose my train of thought again. The funny thing is that, you know, now with YouTubes and all this stuff, you have to like follow the algorithm, and there's this algorithm, and you got to do everything the algorithm, and things, you know, that it'll tell you what to make content about. So there's trending things, and I think that's why now all these, even people that aren't quitting YouTube are making videos about quitting YouTube. It's why I'm making a stupid video about not quitting YouTube, because I'm not quitting YouTube. And even if I was, I don't know if I'd make some big grandiose video. I don't have like 18 bazillion subscribers. So like for me to make like some heartfelt video about quitting YouTube would be kind of silly. But now, like, so I watched Rick Beato's video about Beato, the music John there, about quitting YouTube. And he has this, he loves this genre of quitting, of, you know, YouTube videos here. We have my beautiful 1982 Fiat X19. Maybe we'll take a seat in there if the lighting's not too bad. I have a little dehumidifier. And he made a video about, you know, all these YouTubers quitting YouTube and how it's his favorite genre to watch. I should show you my other, I think this is a 1983 Fiat X19. Now I'm going to try to rip the exhaust off of this and put it on this, because this one is just straight headers and it's very, very loud. Okay, where were we? And then I watched this MKBHD, this Marquise fella. He did a video on quitting YouTube, and I got like 2.8 million views. How's my light in here? Oh, it's not bad. I have my one red seat, non-matching. And then Rick Beato commented on MKBHD's video about quitting YouTube, and he says this has come full circle. So everyone and their uncle is making videos about quitting YouTube. So I said, well, maybe I should like do this thing where everybody follows the algorithm and make a video about quitting YouTube. And, you know, this is like a car channel, an automotive channel, Janky AF, which does not stand for what you think it stands for, and what the New York DMV thinks it stands for, because they rejected my license plate idea. It stands German, and it stands for Automobilfabrikation. So, so I'm making this video as a dumb sort of ploy to like get views, because you're supposed to make videos about what the algorithm wants you to make videos about, and everyone can't stop talking about YouTubers quitting YouTube. Now, if I'm gonna really boil down the essence of my thoughts, like I honestly had no idea who these people were, like Matt Pat and Tom Scott, or Tim Scott, or no, that's like the governor dude. And that's not me bragging. That's like me being completely just in the woods and out of the loop on who these people are. And they have like millions and millions of subscribers, and good for them. Now, I think that like you can only take something like this so far. Like, people change careers all the time, and people take breaks all the time. So I guess it's just the nature of YouTube that you have to be like vulnerable and share yourself and like give yourself to the audience. That's why they're like heading all this like overload, making these like really emotional videos. And then you get into the whole concept of like parasocial relationships, where you have like one single creator and then millions and millions of fans who are supporting that creator, and it creates this like funny sort of imbalanced relationship. And I don't know why everyone has to give their opinion on all these YouTubers quitting YouTube. Again, I think this is like sort of almost a not contrived, but it's like once something catches on and becomes trendy, everyone has to jump on that trend and talk about it, which is why I'm sitting in my stupid little awesome, I say stupid as a term of endearment, my stupid little sports car, talking about this for no reason, and why like probably 10 of you are watching it. So I guess this is the only part of the video that really matters or has any like value, other than me just making like dumb dad jokes about like quiet quitting and stuff like that. I am a small YouTuber. I have been on YouTube for, I don't know, close to 3 years, probably, maybe more than 3 years. I don't even know. And when I first started, I was like, all right, got to get that 1,000 subscribers. And I watched like 8 bazillion videos on how to get your first 1,000 subscribers. And I'm now, and I really am. I've been bitter. I've been resentful. I passed that a long time ago. Like, now I have like 775 subscribers. Like, I still have not hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm not monetized. I dump time and energy into this and get nothing from it. But that's not true at all. I get nothing from it in terms of, you know, like ad revenue, which is like, I know that's not the be all end all of YouTube. Even for big YouTubers, it's all sponsorships and merch and all that stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, I don't, like, for a small YouTuber where this is not like my job, and I've heard other car YouTubers in particular, I'm not going to name names, but like complain about the lack of views on their videos. Meanwhile, they have like 6 Ferraris, and it's like, oh, the YouTube just stopped making any money anymore. It's like, dude, like, I have a working class job. Like, I have a painting business. Like, I have 7 cars, like most of them don't run, and I'm like swimming in debt. But like, I don't care. Like, I'm happy to, I'm so privileged and lucky to like live in a free society and make content for fun in my free time, that that like, I make a lot of movies. I call them videos. I don't like the word content. I make a lot of like movies on the Ford Aerostar, the greatest vehicle of all time. I've met so many Aerostar enthusiasts who have educated me on the Aerostar. There's a couple people out there who have 5 Aerostars. Shout out to Harry. Harry bought this great old Aerostar. All right, so cut to another great trope of YouTube, which is punching in from the editing studio. I have my closet, I have retrofitted into an editing bay for now. So anyways, I just wanted to say and reiterate, I don't want this to be like some pity party or some woe is me video. And I want to say how much gratitude I have for every single person that has made a comment, who has like bought merch, who has subscribed, who has watched any 1 second of the videos that I make. I really want to say that because it can be very easy to read this as like me just complaining, and I realize that I do that sometimes. It's a thing I have in my personality. So I want to reiterate that I am super, super grateful to anyone who has, you know, participated in this thing that I'm doing whatsoever. I respond to every single comment, or I try to respond to every single comment. I think I have a pretty good track record in doing that. And now I'm catching myself being defensive. And so this is a very like philosophical meta YouTube video that I'm doing. But I just wanted to say that I'm super appreciative and grateful that I get to do this at all, and that's sort of the main thrust of this video. So with that, we'll go back to my nonsensical rant. Okay, and now an edit from the edit in the editing studio while we're editing. One last comment before this thing turns just into a complete meaningless pile of mush, which maybe it already has at this point. These big YouTubers that are making these goodbye videos, it is kind of touching because obviously it's meant something to them to do this for so long and in such a high capacity, and they feel like they owe it to the people that have been watching their content, their movies for so long. So in a way it's kind of like sweet, and now I'm getting sort of sentimental when I started out as, I just don't get why, I guess why it's like become such this big thing, and all the while here I am watching all these videos and participating in it myself. So we're just going around in circles, I guess, kind of like Rick Beato had said. So that's one point I wanted to make. And number two, like Louis Rossmann, the guy with the cats who fixes tech stuff, he's a big right to repair guy. He's a great YouTuber dude. And he was saying he didn't get his 1,000th subscriber till well after he was 3 years in. So I'm not trying to bemoan or say like, oh, I'm doing all this effort, nothing's coming of it. Like the community already that I've found, and maybe this is just a, advice or something to think about for people who are smaller YouTubers, like the monetization and the views and the subscribers and making it your job and career and all that. And I think MKBHD kind of touched on this. It can be whatever you want. And also I've been listening to, who's the great music producer there? The crazy Santa Claus looking guy, Rick Rubin. His book, I've been listening to as an audio book. It's free on Spotify Premium if you have that, shout out. And, the creative process is completely separate from sort of the business culture and capitalist system that we live in. So that's the main thing, is just to be creative and enjoy the creative process. And that's what I really get from it. And also what I get from it is a sense of community. All the people I've met, the Aerostar enthusiasts, the people who, I make a video about an 04 Chevy Malibu, and all these people comment, oh, I have a Malibu from that era, this car that nobody cares about really in terms of like, the upper echelon of car enthusiasts. You don't care about a Chevy Malibu. It's a meaningless, whatever, throwaway car. But there's all these people out there that really care about it because they own it and they have had that car and they have memories from that car. Maybe their grandparent had that car. So I guess what I'm trying to convey or establish or communicate is that there's a lot of like, outside of these sort of giants of whatever sort of platform or industry or niche or sphere that you're in, there's millions and millions of just regular everyday people to whom these smaller things that won't get talked about in sort of the mainstream still have a lot of meaning to them. And that's really all I wanted to communicate, is that on the other side of all this like sort of giants, there's tons of just regular everyday people who are making stuff, who are driving cars that maybe nobody cares about, or they don't see themselves reflected in, the media at large. This is almost like a representation thing in a far less meaningful way than we think about it. But I just want to say it because that's my little niche, like, talking about janky cars and things that have sort of been passed over by the mainstream. And so I think that's important to talk about, is that, if anyone's ever feeling like, and I kind of touched on this in my New Year's video, maybe I'm feeling very sentimental these days, but for anyone who feels like they've sort of been passed over by culture and society at large, there is like always a space for you, and there's always a space to make stuff and make creative things that have to do with the little pocket of interest that you have, that it would seem that nobody else cares about. And you'll always, Ford Aerostar, again, like people don't even know what it is. When you say an Aerostar, when people see an Aerostar, they think it's a Chevy Astro. Like even the Aerostar gets so glossed over. And maybe that's why it touches me so strongly, is because I feel like, within this little, again, context, we're in the sphere of cars, which again is not a very important thing in the grand scheme of society, but it's what we care about, right? So there will always be a space, and maybe that's the sort of full roundabout thing, is that within YouTube itself, that's why YouTube is so great, in my opinion, is because you can always find a community for the little thing that you enjoy, and there's always somebody there to talk about it and commiserate with and share stories with and share information with. So that's all I wanted to say. I think that really sums up the completion. So we'll go back to the end of the rant now, and thank you for watching, and Janky do thank you. So what I'm saying is that all these opinions on YouTubers quitting YouTube are from YouTubers with millions and millions of subscribers, and they're giving their opinion on it. And I guess the videos are interesting. They're okay. They're probably more interesting. I don't know if they're more interesting than this video. This is a unique perspective. And now as I'm listening to myself, like, you really can't be a YouTuber without being something of like a little bit of like a narcissist, because you have to like always, I don't know, like give your opinion as if it's, you know, wisdom or something like that, because you're just trying to get clicks and you're just trying to get views. Like, that's a stupid game, unless you don't care. And that's what I'm saying is, like, this like, okay, like, no disrespect to any of these YouTubers who have accumulated millions and millions of followers. Like, that's amazing. That's incredible. That's awesome. And I'm sure it is incredibly hard work to produce videos every week, and the burnout is real. And I'm not trying to take away anything from anybody. I'm just saying there's another point of view, which is like the person that's not chasing like the algorithm, and it's just like sort of like the original YouTube is like, you just make videos for fun and you put them up online, and like, sure, everyone's got that little kernel of like, oh, well, it'd be great if like I got as many views as so and so. Like, of course, that's like, you want as many people as possible to see your stuff, but it doesn't matter. Like, so like, you know, in my view, I like the sort of the decentralization. Like, I hope like every YouTuber with 700 subscribers and 1,000 subscribers. I just found this other YouTuber, the Rural Vermonter. He's got 70K subs. He's this great dude. He just bought like a big rig and got his CDL and bought all these Volvos at auction. There's so many small to medium sized YouTubers out there making wonderful, fantastic movies, videos, artistic, you know, I'm trying really hard not to say content. So that's these, and again, it's nothing against these individuals personally, but I really hope it's like a microcosm for society at large, of like supporting small businesses, supporting medium businesses. Like, there's so, like, again, I honor these people who have built these like illustrious careers, but we're so obsessed with the biggest and the best and the most, and it's again, it's an analogy for chasing that algorithm. Like, just as content creators chase the algorithm, so do all of us chase this unrealistic or like, you know, mirage of a idea that there's some better thing out there. And it's just be in the present, just enjoy what you have, because for most of us, like, what we have, like, you know, we're not getting bombed. We're not getting like, there's like this, you know, like we still live in, and I know inflation sucks and people are struggling. Like, there's a lot of poverty out there, even in this country. So for those of us who are fortunate enough to like not be starving and not be under imminent threat of violence, like, I guess I'm being like a little bit of a relativist or whatever you call it, but I don't know, just be like happy. And I get it. We make videos and we put stuff out there because, you know, that's what you do. But I think there's an alternative perspective that, you know, if these YouTubers are gone now, like, well, that's just more room for all these, for like smaller, like, go search out some like tiny YouTuber and watch some of their videos and just subscribe to them. I don't even mean me. I mean like some tiny little YouTube out there that like makes decent stuff, you know, doesn't have the crazy budget to hire an editor and hire, you know, a thumbnail artist and hire and turn the whole thing into a business. Like, just some like small DIY person who's making really cool stuff. Like, I just watched a bunch of videos of this like Rural Vermonter, and it was like, you know, it was really, really cool. So I hope this doesn't come I'm trying really hard to not be like, oh, I'm a small YouTuber, you should like support blah 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 blah. Like, no, I'm just saying, like, everyone and their uncle is making, their Uncle Gary or their Aunt Tina is making these videos on YouTubers quitting, and I don't understand what the big deal is about. Like, yeah, okay, people do stuff and then they stop doing stuff after a while. But then I'm like, well, I guess I gotta make a video because everyone's making a video. So this is my video. So anywho, you know, this is my lovely Fiat. It makes 73 horsepower from the factory. I bet if I put this on a dyno now, it's probably making like 40 horsepower. Like, it's hard to get this car over 55 miles an hour. And if you want to see me driving it, I think there's other videos, although I should put some more videos of me driving, because it actually does run and drive under its own power. It's got these orange wheels. So there you go. There's a dumb little video on a stupid little video, and I say that with affection, about quitting YouTube, and Beef Janky's thoughts on quitting YouTube. So have a wonderful day. If you're a person that watches this program regularly, the Aerostar Cybertruck video is coming out very soon, I promise. I'm super excited about that. And we're going to make more videos. But first, we're going to go inside because it's 6 degrees out. All right. Janky do thanky.